How's it going, everybody? Mr. D here. In this video, we're going to do just a quick little wrap up of everything that we've discussed in Unit 3A. So Unit 3A, just as a recap, was talking about parabolas, so one of these little U-shaped graphs, and really we were focusing on a few different aspects. We were focusing on the vertex. Along with that comes the axis of symmetry, how we could find those, and then also we discussed finding the y-intercept, so something like that. So that was really about it that was covered in this unit. We talked about a variety of different ways that could be done, and we learned a few different forms of these quadratics. And this video is really just going to focus on tying all of that together just to make sure that we have those basics down. So let's talk first about domain and range. We want to find the domain and range of two separate parabolas here, and it says that we're not going to graph them. So just by looking at these equations, I can take a look at the a value, that coefficient in front of the squared term, and I can determine, does this thing open up or down? All right, so if I look at the first one, for example, it's a positive 2 out front, so that means it's going to open upward. Now that's going to tell me a few things. One is it's going to help me figure out the vertex, and I know that the vertex is going to be a minimum. But then two is knowing that the vertex is a minimum, that's going to help me get an idea about the range, because the range is going to be whatever this lowest y value was, aka the y value of the vertex, all the way up to forever, or up to infinity. So when I'm finding the range is always going to depend on the y value of that vertex and whether it's a minimum or a maximum. Similar logic over here on example number 2. I have a negative x squared, so that means it's going to be a downward opening parabola. So this vertex right here is actually going to be my maximum. So when I get to the range for this problem, it's going to be from negative infinity all the way up to whatever this y value is. All right, so problem number 1. If we look over here, this is written in vertex form, so I can look at these two values, the 4 and the 5, and without doing too much thinking, I can get my vertex is going to be 4, 5. So vertex form is great if all you want to find is the vertex. Then when it comes time to finding domain and range, well, we should know domain is always going to be all real numbers for these quadratics because it goes forever to the left and it goes forever to the right. There's no x values that are off limits. So our domain is always going to be negative infinity to positive infinity. And then our range, like I said before, is going to depend on what our vertex was. So in this case, our vertex had that y coordinate of 5. So that's going to make an appearance in the range. And since it opens upward, it's going to go from 5 up to infinity. Problem number 2 is just going to be a slight bit more challenging. I don't even want to say more challenging. We'll say more cumbersome, simply for the fact that it's in standard form. Now remember, standard form is really only good for telling us the y-intercept. So I know this thing's got a y-intercept at 0, 3, but whoop-de-doo, that's really not going to do me any good for domain and range. So what I have to do here is first find the axis of symmetry by doing the opposite of b over 2a. So if I were to do that, my b value is negative 4. My a value is negative 1. So this would be a positive 4. Negative 4 is positive 4. Over 2 times negative 1. So 4 divided by negative 2. That would be negative 2. Then I'd have to take that value and plug it back in to my function to see what y value or function value comes out of that. So if I were to plug in negative 2 for x here and here, negative 2 quantity squared is 4. There's a negative sign out front though, so that's negative 4. Minus, then we have 4 times negative 2, so that'd be negative 8. So minus a negative 8, well, that'd be a plus. And then we have the plus 3 hanging out at the end, and that's where that 7 comes from. Now that'll help for domain and range again. Domain we already know, that's not a surprise to any of us. And then the range has to incorporate this negative 2, or sorry, not the negative 2, what am I doing? The 7 in some way, shape, or form, because that was part of our vertex. That's the y value from our vertex. So let's see what we got. Negative infinity, comma, 7. Yay. One other note, and I know we've discussed this in previous videos, make sure if you're ever using an infinity on domain and range, you always have to use a rounded parenthesis there, never a square bracket, because infinity is not a number. You can never actually reach infinity. Infinity is a mathematical concept, and thus requires just a parenthesis. You can only approach it, you can never reach it. Crazy. All right. Next one. We want to convert a quadratic equation into standard form. So standard form, again, is going to be ax squared plus bx plus c. And the real advantage to standard form, like we've discussed, is the c value is going to be the y-intercept. So we're going to want to know the y-intercept sometimes when we're graphing, or especially with application problems, because that's going to be our starting value. So let's see here. We have an equation given to us. This looks like vertex form. And I want to rewrite this into standard form. Now, one thing I could do right now to just kind of give myself a little double check when it comes to the end is I could find the y-intercept of this function right now. It's not going to be as easy as standard form, but I could do it just by plugging in 0 for x, because the y-intercept always has an x value of 0. So 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Square that is positive 1. So 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3. I'm getting negative 1. So unless I just made a goof, my final answer should have negative 1 as my c value. All right, so let's make this pretty. Following order of operations, first thing I need to do is distribute that x minus 1 quantity squared. So that's x minus 1 times another x minus 1. Do not distribute the 2 into these parentheses just yet, because a lot of people will distribute them into both. In that case, you're technically double multiplying by 2, and that's not correct. So I'm going to focus on just doing 2 things at a time, whether you're multiplying these 2 parenthesis chunks first or just these 2 factors. Only do 2 at a time. So the easiest route is going to be multiplying your x minus 1s together, and that's just going to be some straight up distribution, or the FOIL method. Everyone's favorite for a letter F word, the FOIL method. And what we're resulting in is right here, x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now we can distribute that 2 into there. And then we combine our like terms. And holy cannolis, our y-intercept is negative 1, just like we'd predicted. So I'm going to use that as a sign that we did things correctly. Neat. All right, last problem. We want to write the equation of a parabola whose vertex is 3,7. If they give me the vertex, they are giving me permission to use vertex form. So if they give me the vertex, I now have permission to use this form because I have values for h and k to plug in. So let's see here. We're using vertex form. They're giving us the values for the vertex, h and k, are 3 and 7 respectively. But then they also gave us a separate point at 9, 4. Well, that's just a generic xy coordinate. So I can plug the 9 in for the x value and then plug the 4 in for the y value. And now this is just straight up arithmetic. 9 minus 3 in parentheses, that's just 6. Can we square 6? I sure hope so. So we're going to get 4 equals 36a plus 7. Our goal is to solve for a, so that 7 has to move to the other side. Divide by 36, and 3/36 reduces to 1/12. Keep in mind there is a negative sign out front. So we now have our a value, and we have our vertex. We now have all 3 key ingredients to write our equation in vertex form. All right, that's it, folks. Look at that. We got a video done in less than 10 minutes. What a treat. You know the drill. If you have any questions, please let me know. Good luck, have fun, be safe, roll tide.